Hello everyone, it is Toby here. Day number 3 of the World's Strongest Man has just gone down. Day number 1 of the finals, and what an exciting day. Nothing is going the way we thought it was going to go. This is a crazy World's Strongest Man, and I am absolutely loving it so far. So without further ado, we are going to, of course, go through each event in the final so far, talk about what happened, and then give our thoughts on what is been going on. And honestly, my brain is fried. I am struggling to comprehend what I am seeing for the most part. So let's get into it. And before we do that, if you're new here, go down below, click like and subscribe to the channel. I don't only do pro strongman coverage on this channel, I also do my own strength and strongman training. So go check out all the other videos on this channel. But I'm not going to waste any more of either of our time. Let's get into the World's Strongest Man finals. So, as a brief reminder then, going into the finals, our 10 finalists are Mitchell Hooper, Tom Stoltman, Rain O'Neill, Trey Mitchell, Luke Stoltman, Paddy Haynes, Shane Flowers, Andre Foytu, Pavlo Cordiaca, and Eddie Williams. And starting off the finals, they have a prelim score from the heats. So what this means is all 5 heats events have been recalculated with just the 10 finalists' times and reps and points and such. And then whoever performed the best in the heats overall has been awarded 10 points going in, and it goes 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, as if it's just one event. So it means the heats matter. It means people try in the heats. So going into the finals day 1, Mitchell Hooper started on 10 points. Tom Stoltman had 9. Rain O'Neill had 8. Trey Mitchell had 7. Luke Stoltman had 6. Paddy Haynes had 5. Shane Flowers had 4. Andre Foytu had 3. Pavlo Cordiaca had 2. And Eddie Williams had 1. So take that to mean as if they had basically already done one event. But of course, that one event is the 5 heats events and their performances there. So it started us off with that Mitchell Hooper 1 point advantage. And I said in yesterday's video that I think that 1 point is going to matter in the grand scheme of things. And well, it might just yet, but we have had some upsets going forward. So event number 1 then was the Zerk carry into the arm over arm hoist. Now, what happened on this one is Shane Flowers had a bit of a nightmare. So from what we've heard, Shane Flowers came down with a case of food poisoning from a little bit of undercooked chicken, and he essentially just blacked out and clotheslined himself on the Zerka carry, so only getting a distance of 8.6 meters, coming in last. And then Trey Mitchell had a very solid but slow performance in 49.38. Luke Stoltman in 45.58. Andre Foytu in 40.95. Eddie Williams in 38.11. Pavlo Cordiaca in 37.42. Paddy Haynes in 36.97. Mitchell Hooper in 35.47. Tom Stoltman in 34.49. And Rain O'Neill in a blisteringly quick 30.58 seconds. This was an exciting event. We got the heat of Tom Stoltman and Mitchell Hooper going against each other. Obviously, Tom coming out on top by just under a second. And then Rain O'Neill just absolutely mogging the floor here with 30.58. I thought this event was pretty decent. It sounded a tad light from what people were saying, but the timing spread and the point spread on this wasn't too egregious. We didn't have like any split tenth of a second changes, chopping and changing throughout. Everything was split up fairly decently, so I don't mind it being a little bit lighter to kick off the finals. But yeah, I would have preferred maybe a bit more of a challenging arm over arm there. But that left us at the end of that event with a 3-way tie in first place with Reno, Tom, and Mitch all on 18 points going into the deadlift. So a really exciting start for the first event there. It's going to be an exciting one going forward as well. So then we had the max 18-inch deadlift. Obviously, Mitch Hooper looking unstoppable in training, but he had a little bit of an underperformance on this one, to be honest. But I'll go through the scores in reverse order here. Luke Stoltman coming in last on this deadlift with a weight of 402 kilo. We know from Luke that this isn't his favorite event, and apparently his back's been spasming a little bit in deadlift, so not surprised to see Luke come last in that deadlift. And then we had a tie on 435 kilos with Eddie Williams and Pavlo Cordiaca. Again, I think we expected these guys to be in this sort of 8th and 9th position, really, because we've got a hell of a lot of good deadlifters in this lineup. But I will say the overall standard of deadlifting on this 18-inch apparatus is down from the last time we saw it. But does that have anything to do with the missing rest day? Does it have anything to do with people having to go balls to the wall in the heats? Probably a lot of things. So next up then, we had an absolutely massive tie at 465 kilos with Shane Flowers, Andre Foytu, Paddy Haynes, Mitchell Hooper, and Tom Stoltman all tying on 465 kilo. Now, this seemed like a massive underperformance for Mitch Hooper. Obviously, the man was repping 505 on this setup in training. So something clearly not right there. Something probably just exhaustion, life stress, whatever it is affecting Mitchell Hooper today. We don't know. But very good for Tom Stoltman. Obviously, his deadlift has been down the last few months we've seen him. But to tie Mitchell Hooper on a deadlift, that's exactly what Tom Stoltman would have wanted. And then we had Rayno Nell coming out and doing a 490 kilo pull. Absolutely buzzing for Rayno. The dude's not just fast, he's got that static strength to go with it as well. That was enough for second place on the deadlift. And then, of course, big Trey Mitchell getting the 500 kilo to win the event outright. Every rep looking the exact same. Trey is just an absolute beast. He's an absolute powerhouse. So, yeah, very interesting event, this deadlift. It shook up the points massively. It really did. So that led us in to the Hercules hold then, which made things very interesting. So starting things off then, in last place on the Hercules hold, we had Trey Mitchell having a bit of a disaster at 22.29. Trey on a Hercules hold is usually phenomenal, so I don't know what went on with Trey there, whether he just got a slight wonky grip or something, but really bad performance on Trey on this one. I think Trey would have been in contention for the overall win had it not been for this really poor Hercules hold performance. So real shame there. And then Pavlo Cordiaca, 29.91. Pavlo not known for his great grip, so perhaps maybe where we expected him. And then we had Tom Stoltman in 31.82. Hercules hold notoriously not one of Tom's favourite events. And a lot of people were saying he's been working hard at it. Well, it looks like his performance hasn't got that much better. But Hercules holds such a hard thing to get better at. Grip endurance is a really hard thing to build. It takes a hell of a long time to build it. And that's why you see the older athletes tend to be a lot better at the Hercules hold because they've had a lot longer to build that up. So, yeah, Tom with 31.82. And then big brother Luke with 32.30 around the same time. And then, shockingly, Mitchell Hooper with 40.09 seconds. And I'd say, again, this is an underperformance for Mitch Hooper. We were expecting an event win here, possibly, for Mitch Hooper. Something clearly not going right with Mitch today. But we will see as we go into day two whether he can pick up more points on that Flintstone barbell. But, yeah, certainly a very interesting one. And then Shane Flowers with a very solid 40.26 seconds, just pipping Mitch Hooper there. Andre Foytu with 55.41. So you can see, yeah, big jump there between 40s now into the sort of higher end results in the 50s to the 60s. Andre doing fantastic there. I didn't know much about Andre's grip, so really good to see him doing good performance. Paddy Haynes solidly in third with 59.64. We know Paddy's got a good grip. We knew he'd be good on the Hercules hold, so no surprises there to see him top three. Then Rayno Nell, again, 75.63. Rayno had never done a Hercules hold in competition before. He said his grip is good, and by God is his grip good. Second place on this event. Rayno has been absolutely phenomenal so far this competition in day number one. It is just mental to see. And then the big talk for the Hercules hold is Eddie Williams, 82.18, taking a comfortable event win and a world's strongest man record on that Hercules hold apparatus. Now, that's not to be confused with the Giants live record that Mark Felix holds. That is a different piece of kit, but this is the world's strongest man Hercules hold record, and massive for Eddie Williams there. Guy has a phenomenal grip. I expected Eddie to be top two on this event. He's super good at stuff like this. But going into day three then, that has shaken up the points insanely. So going into the final day then, we have Rayno Nell in the lead with 36 points. He is a solid 7 points clear of Mitchell Hooper in second place. Now, the big question on our minds is, can Rain O'Neill do enough on the Flintstone barbell and the stones to maintain that massive point lead? And by God, do I hope he does. It would be so nice and refreshing to see a new world's strongest man from South Africa coming in as an unknown and absolutely mogging it. He would be one of a very, very select few of guys who has won world's strongest man on his debut. The others being Yuka Atler, Magnus Ver, and of course Bruce Wilhelm in the first world's strongest man. It would be an elite club to join, and I really, really hope we see it. Reno has super impressed me. I absolutely love his character. He's super humble, super chilled out, and he's just loving it. So I really hope we see more of Reno. And Reno, if you're watching, start a YouTube channel. The people want it. And if you win World's Strongest Man, I mean, that's going to grow quick. It's going to be earning you some money. So go ahead, do it. We want to see the training, Reno. Let's do it. And then, yeah, in second, 29 points, Mitchell Hooper. So even with, admittedly, an underperforming Mitchell Hooper, he's still holding second very solidly. People are calling for Mitch Hooper's retirement in the Reddit because of this performance. What the actual fuck are you lot on about over there? Mitchell Hooper is having a bad day, and the dude's still in second. Today could be a much better day. He could outright win the Flintstone barbell. He could come top 2 in the stones. He could bring himself right back in. Just because he's had one bad day or a couple bad days at World's Strongest Man, the dude should not bloody retire. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, Mitch Hooper, 29 points. It's going to be a big ask to bring it back up to that 36 with Reno, but Mitch Hooper's phenomenal at the Flintstone barbell. If he doesn't underperform on this one, we could see him making some catch-up for sure. Tom Stoltman similarly on 27. Tom Stoltman phenomenal at the Flintstone barbell and Atlas Stones. Really good opportunity for Tom to close that gap in the next two events. Paddy Haynes just 1 point off the podium at 26. Paddy has been absolutely smashing it this competition so far. The big talk has obviously been Rain O'Neill coming in and obliterating it, but Paddy, it's also his first time at World's Strongest Man, and he is solidly top 4, holding his own, only 1 point back from Tom Stoltman. That is mental for Paddy. Now, obviously, his worst event coming up next in the Flintstone barbell. I'm sure he will be just buzzing to get the opener on that and not 0. But the Atlas Stones, an absolutely phenomenal event for Paddy Haynes. So where do we see Paddy end up in this competition? I'd love to see him top 5. Anything can happen in Strongman. It's going to be a really exciting day. Trey Mitchell and Andre Foytu tied on 20 points at the minute. Obviously, Trey having a big disaster on that Hercules hold. But Trey, again, is someone who could win the Flintstone barbell and the Atlas Stone. So he could drag himself right back up there again. Andre Foytu, probably not the favourite on the Atlas Stones, but I am excited to see this man on that Flintstone barbell. Eddie Williams with 18.5 points. Dude has really impressed me at this competition. He's not surprised me because Eddie's a fantastic strongman. He's always been a fantastic strongman. But he is just getting better and better and better and better. And I'm loving to see him doing so well in the finals. And that Hercules hold was an absolutely awesome performance. Shane Flowers with 17. Obviously, that first event not going his way, but having a solid deadlift and a decent Hercules hold. I think getting, 5th, 4th on both of those events, something like that. He's putting in solid performances. Shane's been looking pretty explosive on the Flintstone barbell. I'd like to see what he can do on that. And Shane's sort of a sleeper stone lifter as well. People don't often talk about him as being good at the Atlas Stones, but Shane is phenomenal at the Atlas Stones. So we've got a very good stone lifting final here. It's going to be very exciting. Then we have Luke Stoltman with 14 points. Again, not his favourite events with the deadlift and the Herc hold here. But Flintstone barbell, I expect Luke to put up a big number. And stones, of course, Luke is fantastic at the stones. And then in last place with 12.5, Pavlo Kordiaka. Again, not his best events with the deadlift and the Hercules hold. But watch out for this man on the Flintstone barbell. He has been split jerking since it was invented, pretty much. No, I'm kidding. But Pavlo is going to put up a big number on that Flintstone barbell. So we have a lot of guys who can still do big numbers on that Flintstone barbell, even without Lucas Hatton in this final. But apparently there is some good news floating around that Lucas Hatton is going to be doing a guest lift on the Flintstone barbell to try and set a world record. So I'm super pleased World's Strongest Man has listened and given us that to watch. And I really hope they don't go back on that and it's not just a fake rumor that's going around, because I would be very disappointed not to see that. But good Lord, what an exciting day one. It's not gone the way pretty much anyone thought it would, has it? Like, it really hasn't. No one expected Rain O'Neill to be 7 points clear of Mitch Hooper going into the final day. Flintstone Barbell and Atlas Stones up next. Both going to be super exciting events. I could see points going all over the place once again. Nothing's decided yet. This World's Strongest Man has just been crazy. So there we have it. I am going to rest my voice a bit going into the finals. I am pretty bloody knackered. But if you guys enjoyed my coverage so far of the World's Strongest Man, go down below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Obviously, we'll be joining you again at the end when all of the finals is done and dusted, and we've got our final standings for a final recap and a chat. But that is that. Thank you again so much for watching. Go down below, like the video, and subscribe. And if you want to go above and beyond, there is the option to join the channel and become a member. Now World's Strongest Man is out the way pretty much. Lots of members-only content will be coming in the future. So please, if you're new, go and check that side of the channel out as well. But anyway, thank you once again so much for watching. I've been Toby, and I'll see you in the next one.